Hey guys, what's up? Chainer here again, and patch 2.3 on the PTR is getting updated and wiped today or tomorrow. We got the new information. The Hoda bracers that buffed our attack speed are pretty much no longer going to work with the Whirlwind build, but Barbs are pretty fine, and this is the build that I'm going to be using to push greater rifts. So because we lost the Hoda bracers, which, you know, in the first patch of the PTR gave us up to 100% increased attack speed for 3 seconds. Although the way Whirlwind works is whatever attack speed you have when you start whirlwinding, that's the attack speed that's locked to Whirlwind until you stop whirlwinding. So you could hit your Hoda, buff your attack speed, and then Whirlwind, and until you stop, you have that buffed attack speed, even though the buff goes away after 3 seconds. So we're losing that, and what that gave us is higher Dust Devil breakpoints. So basically, in the build that I use to push to greater F69, over here somewhere. Leaderboard's so laggy. Greater F69, I was basically using 10 Dust Devil breakpoint, which is about 3.3 attack speed. I got the breakpoints over here, so yeah, 3.296, so 3.3 attack speed. You'll get 10 Dust Devils per second, and that's what I was using in this build. But in this newer build, there's another way to snapshot attack speed, and actually you're going to be getting to 12 breakpoint pretty easily in high density grifts. And what I did was replace my swiftness gem with a pain enhancer. So for every mob around you, you hit a mob with pain enhancer and it puts a bleed on them. So whenever you hit something, it bleeds. So if you get a high density rift, say on a good map like Silver Spire, you could easily stack up hundreds of mobs. And for every mob that's within 20 yards of you that's bleeding, you get 3% attack speed. So if you could stack like 40, 30 plus mobs around you within that 20-yard radius, you're easily hitting the highest breakpoints, like 12 Dust Devils per second, which is 3.85 attacks, 3.85 attacks per second. Sorry. And if not, you're hitting the 10 pretty easily with nice density. It makes it a little harder, but it's just as powerful, if not more powerful. But another thing that was unexpected in the patch notes, they changed a rune on Threatening Shout. So Falter right now, as you can see here, it reduces their attack speed by 20% for 15 seconds. In this next patch coming up, they gave us a nice damage buff here, which is an incoming damage debuff by 30% for 6 seconds. So incoming damage debuffs, things like strong arm bracers or stuff like that, some classes use things like that, like a trial monk use damage debuffs. There's a damage debuff gem. Anyways, all incoming damage debuffs are additive with each other in their own multiplicative pool. So say something like Bane of the Trapped is in its own multiplicative pool. So that's just a straight up 33.3% multiplicative increase on top of your damage. And since we're not really using any incoming damage debuffs, that 30% from Falter will be, it's basically just like a Bane of the Trapped. It would be its own multiplicative, since we're not using anything other. I mean, other classes that have incoming damage debuffs, it would add on top of that instead of multiplying over and over and over again, which would result in higher DPS. It doesn't work like that, but by itself and for solo, something like Falter is going to be a really, really nice damage buff for the Barb. And like I said, I got up to 69 with the Hoda bracer builds. I did a few trial runs just to test this out. I did a 65. I got a really bad rift. It was a complete hallway rift with mana density and mana mobs, and I actually only missed clearing it by like a few seconds. I ran out of conduit at the end. The boss was at like 40%. But for like, I only did like 5 to 10 rifts, so I mean, Barbs require a lot of fishing to get the higher rifts. I just wanted to kind of feel out the class, feel out the builds, and how we're going to work without the bracers, and it's looking pretty good. And with the Falter buff, we might even be clearing higher than we are now. So don't worry about the bracers going away too much. We're still looking pretty good. We're using Blood Funnel, Battle Rage Bloodshed. You can use Overpower Killing Spree to get 8% crit chance because there's not much else to use. This is basically going to replace the Hoda. Threatening Shout, Falter, like I said, 30% increase incoming damage debuff to mobs. Ignore Pain, Ignorance is Bliss is good, but you need like 3 pieces of cooldown. I think with 2 pieces, I go with Iron Hide. I'm using 3 pieces of cooldown. Wrath of the Berserker, Insanity is pretty standard. We got Weapon Master, Rampage, Ruthless, Vulnerable Kathos, pretty standard stuff. Now, as far as gear goes, pretty much standard. Crit, Whirlwind, Strength on the helm, Strength, Fit, Life. If you could get a secondary resist, like Physical or Arcane could be good. Anything could really be good, but gloves, Strength, Vit, crit damage, crit chance. Vit is great because your Whirlwind is healing you for 1% of your maximum life, so the more max life you have, the more healing you have. Stuff like that is great. Ignore Pain, Belt, Pride of Cassius, 6 seconds, really important with all res, life percent, pretty standard pants, Strength, Vit, all res. Whirlwind Boots, 2 ancient BK weapons with percent damage, Strength, Vit, definitely the way to go. There's not much else to go in bracers aside from Steady Strikers or Lacunis. I mean, if you really wanted, you could like replace Overpower with Harpoon or Wrenching Smash and use Strong Arms, but I don't recommend it because it's gonna mess with your snapshot of Pain Enhancer, because once you group those mobs up and you have the attack speed and then you recast Whirlwind to snapshot your attack speed and have the 10 or 12 Dust Devil breakpoint, you don't want to let go of Dust Devil, you don't want to let go of Whirlwind again, and something like Harpoon is going to make you let go of Whirlwind, you're going to lose your breakpoint. So I don't suggest it. Flavor of Time, if you have one like this with Strength or Physical, crit damage, crit chance, cooldown, socket, if you have one like this, it's really good. Thank you, Newton. 10 bucks. You're awesome, dude. I am recording this video live. Thanks, dude. Anyways, so yeah, if you have a good Flavor of Time like this, they're hard to get. It's tough, I know. It's really good. If not, you could go with like a Hellfire Amulet with any one of these passives, and you could add like Berserker's Rage for 25% additional damage while at max fury. You're pretty much always going to be at max fury, like right there. You're always getting fury back from Weapon Master, and you're hitting lots of mobs, so that's nice. Nerves of Steel could be okay. If you die, it'll pick you back up. It's alright. I would go for the damage personally. Just try not to. I feel like almost like Nerves of Steel is a bit of a crutch, kind of just in case you die, get back up. But overall, like if you manage not to die and have a little bit extra damage, you'll do better. So, all right, and then for our rings, we got a Unity. You're gonna want crit damage, crit chance, elite damage, like that. That's just the way to go. Over here, you could go with the cooldown, crit damage, crit chance, like I have. Getting a really high percent on the affix, the 195 increased damage to a single element, that's pretty important. Like getting over 180 is pretty important. But a trifecta like this is really, really nice. There are other options. I mean, I think cooldown's really good, but if you have like an ancient convention of elements, you could go for average damage, crit chance. That could be really good too. So yeah, that's about all the gear. The stats in your cube, you're going to want to use Furnace, Hexing Pants, Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac. And that just about covers it, guys. That's just about it. So, hope you liked the video. If you want, give it a thumbs up. It'd be much appreciated. And see you guys later.